Hello, my name is Leslie Barnhill, and I am the Planetarium Facilitator at the Mesquite ISD Planetarium. And today I'm coming to you to show you a couple of the sights that you might see in the night sky. Now, let's hope that there aren't going to be any clouds, and it's going to be a clear sky where there's not a lot of pollution, so we can actually get a hint of what we might see. Today is April 2nd, and this is what we'll see starting tonight. Now, the first thing I want you to do is pretend that you are you're laying down on the ground and you are looking up. And I've been able to get my software from my dome onto my home laptop so I can show you some of the sights that we're going to see. So pretend you're laying down on the ground and you're looking up, and you are going to see something that looks like this. And as you can see, we're looking in the sky. North is going to be at the top of the circle, south is at the bottom, east is to our left, and west will be to our right. And as you can see, the time is on the bottom, the date and the time, and we're looking at what the sky looks like from Mesquite, Texas. So the first thing that I want to do is I am going to go ahead and just start time, which means I'm kind of speeding up time, and you can see that by the bottom of the screen and how fast time is going. So as you can see, the sun has set in the west to the right, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the time moving here. And I want to talk about a couple of things you see. Now, straight up in the sky, you see the moon, okay? And as you can see, the side that's facing us, a little bit more than half is lit, which means we are in the beginning gibbous phases. And since the light of the moon that we can see is on the right, this is the waxing phases. So what you're actually looking at is a waxing gibbous. And then towards the right of the screen, right as it's about to set in the west, you can see two different items. It looks like one dot, and we're going to kind of take a look at this right off the bat. And the first thing I want to go ahead and show you is Venus. Now, Venus is the third brightest object in the sky. And the first brightest object is going to be the sun. The second today is the moon. And the third is Venus. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a trip to Venus. We're getting off Earth here. We're going to zoom to Venus, and we're going to see what Venus looks like for the day or for the evening. Now, as we get closer to Venus, it looks a lot like the moon right now. And that's because we are seeing the phases of Venus as well. And Venus, like Earth and like the moon, does not make its own light. So it gets the light from the sun. So the side of the object, in particular here, Venus, the side of Venus that is facing the sun is going to get the light. And you can see the sun, that's that big bright light way off into the background. Is lighting up that side of Venus. So Venus is getting the right side of it being lit up. So let's come back to our night sky. And the cool thing right now, right behind Venus is Pleiades. Now, this is a rare event to have Pleiades and Venus line up with one another. It happens once every 8 years, and it just so happens to happen tonight, last night, and the next couple of nights. So if you can go out, if it's a clear night, maybe you can see this. Now, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Pleiades. We're going to go ahead and magnify it a little. It doesn't look that good on the screen. But Pleiades is also known as the Seven Sisters. It is a star cluster of young stars. It's going to take a couple of seconds for it to zoom in. And it's also in the constellation of Taurus. And another cool thing about this, even though you could see it with binoculars tonight, and on a dark night when the moon isn't around, you could see it with your naked eye, it is still 440 light years away. So we're going to come back to the night sky. All right. And we're going to go ahead and let time go again. Let time move. Now that bright band of light is part of our Milky Way galaxy. That's the galaxy we belong to, our solar system belongs to. And it's kind of cool. Now, I also want to show you some constellations that we might see in the sky. Ursa Major, which is the Big Dipper, is part of this Big Bear's tail, which means Draco is nearby. Serpens Kaput. And then there's the other part of our Milky Way galaxy as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop time. And since I've stopped timing, or stopped the time, I want to take a look at a couple of these objects in your lower left-hand part of the screen. Now, right by the Milky Way, which is that vast band of light in the sky, you'll see a couple of dots. And while they might look like stars, they are actually planets. And the first two you'll see is Jupiter and Pluto. And this is known as a conjunction. And what that means is they're lined up in our sky. It doesn't mean our Earth is going to end or anything like that. It just means they're lined up in the sky. Now, the cool thing about Jupiter and Pluto, this conjunction, is it's going to be a triple conjunction this year, which means we're going to see it like this 3 times throughout the year. And it's going to come together like tonight, and then it's going to move apart, and then it's going to come together again. And it's going to happen tonight, June 30th, and November 12th of this year. So that's kind of a cool thing. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these up close. So we will go ahead and take a look at Jupiter first. Now, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. It is a gas giant, which means it is not solid. It's made of gas. And you can see the big red dot facing us. And we've been observing that big red dot for over 400 years, which is kind of cool. And most scientists agree or believe that this is a huge storm. But by Jupiter, remember, like I said, we are going to see Pluto. So let's go ahead and take a look at Pluto. So give it time to move, and here's Pluto. Now, Pluto is a dwarf planet. It's not a main planet. It didn't move, it didn't blow up, it just got a different name back in 2006. And this is one of the newest pictures of Pluto from the New Horizons probe that was sent out there about 10, 15 years ago. Now, we said that Jupiter and Pluto were aligned. Now, that doesn't mean they're anywhere close to one another. While Jupiter is 5 AUs away from the sun, an AU is the distance between the sun and Earth. So Jupiter is 5 AUs away from the sun. Pluto is actually 34 AUs away from the sun. So while they look like they're close to one another in our sky, they really aren't. So let's go ahead and go back to our night sky. It'll take a couple of seconds. And here we're back. All right. And as you can see, it's 5:30. Some of us are already awake, and some of us might be sleeping in these days. We might be night owls, but either way, these are the objects that you can see in the sky tonight. If you have any questions that I could possibly answer or things that you might want to see, I hope to be doing this a couple of times each week. My name again is Leslie Barnhill. I'm at the Mesquite ISD Planetarium. You can reach me at my email address, which is LBarnhill@mesquiteisd.net. I really appreciate you listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.